All right. So today, I want to take a look at the sessions you might be interested in at the Esri Developer Summit, which is next week, the week of March. I believe it starts the 8th through the 11th. A lot of us are going to be there before that. So I'm just double checking here. So okay, there's stuff on, these are pre-conference bits. But I just want to take a look at things maybe you're interested in looking at. Can't seem to remove this thing up here. I don't care. Whatever. All right. If you're attending Developer Summit next week, I'm sure you've got your entire schedule planned out, or you're just going to wing it. It usually goes one of those two ways, right? I was an attendee for many years, starting with the first Developer Summit all the way to before I joined Esri, and it's always a blast, good time. We haven't had a live Developer Summit in a couple of years. First live one. Um, Pro tip, yes, we are in person. Yes, everyone has to be vaccinated to attend. That includes staff as well. But chill, man. Just don't crowd everybody, right? I mean, even though a lot of staff is going and we're cool, we're not exactly ready for powwows just yet. So be chill. That's all I'm saying. But let's look at some sessions that might be coming up. I won't bother with the pre-conference stuff. If you've already signed up for that, then you are already in there. So let's look at like Tuesday, right? So, okay, here's what I'm gonna do. By default, you should pretty much check out all the tech sessions that you're interested in. And you want to find tech session stuff. You can filter out. They got things by topic, so by platform, apps, imagery, geodatabase, Python API, web, right? So I would recommend, of course, viewing all the web stuff. Click apply, right? So yeah, all this stuff, right? Or if you're interested in runtime, maybe you want to look at runtime stuff. Go and filter through there, and I believe you could probably find that under. Oh, there it is, runtime, right? There's even UX UI stuff. I don't even know what that is. Check this out. Huh. Best practices for designing amazing web apps. That's good. Mike Gag does some really cool stuff. I've actually learned. I did a pre-conference seminar with Mike 2 or 3 years ago, and I learned quite a bit from him when it came to UX and stuff like that, like atomic design and all that. So I'll actually talk a bit about atomic design in my session. Calcite design system stuff on Thursday. Ryan and Kelly, of course, check those out. So I'm gonna do a little different. So yes, check out all the JavaScript sessions, all the JavaScript sessions, even the ones I'm doing, right, and stuff like that. But I want to highlight something a little different today. So I will actually highlight user presentations, because I'm assuming you know what tech sessions you want to see, or whatever, and they're all valid. They're all really good. Let's check out what some of the user presentations are going to be throughout the week. And user presentations, it looks like, are on Wednesday and Thursday of the week. I'm actually going to be moderating sessions between 1 and 2 on Wednesday. I forget which ones exactly. It might be this one. I might be a Mesquite C. Moderate's a heavy word. I'm basically just there to help the presenters, make sure things run smoothly. I don't actually know how to fix anything, so if it's broken, I'm just gonna call someone to help fix stuff. I'm just there to help out, man. Check it out. I'm excited to check these out. User presentations are like for you, right? These are your peers that are building projects, and every year I talk about this. The fact is, you can go to a tech session, you can look at how the developers at Esri are building stuff, and get some great insight from them, right? I mean, these are the guys and ladies that are building the apps and software that you use on a daily basis. So you get some really great information from them. User presentations, these are your peers. These are people that are working in the same environments that you are, probably having to deal with some of the same issues, whether it's some weird database configuration, Redis cache, who knows what they might be doing, right? So you might be able to get some pretty good insight from your peers as well. So I highly recommend them because you can learn quite a bit. And it takes a lot for someone that is not, on staff, for example, to go out there and do a presentation like this. So, props to you, all user presenters doing a great job, right? So we have this where to locate the next store, site selection with ArcGIS Business Analyst. This is a great one. I mean, this is one of those things that it's very popular GIS kind of tool or analysis that people might do. This kind of thing that comes up quite a bit in that particular industry. So definitely want to check this out if that's something you're into, right? If that's part of your bit. It looks like they're using the environmental sustainability and tapestry data. So that might be some, can't quite tell if they're using something that maybe they've got their own or if they're using Living Atlas maybe. That's kind of cool. We've got automating against risk, Earth observation data. That seems really neat. All right, so they are, here's the abstract, right? Okay, so they'll discuss how this algorithm could be used to discern urbanization rates and how readily available environmental information within the Esri Park network can be leveraged. Okay, so that's pretty cool. I would definitely want to check that out. Oh, it looks like these, so Mesquite Sea, it looks like it might be the same kind of like track, like theme, right? Because we had site selection here, and the next one we have is implementation of a site model using GIS. So that's pretty cool. And again, we had the Earth observation here in the same room. We've got hacking towards a sustainable future with digital footprint.earth. Okay, I've never used that digital footprint.earth, but that seems really cool. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so look, all this using Esri's the JavaScript API, React.js, and Node.js to visualize data, perform site performance audits, aggregate data. This one over here is using all the above can be packaged as a user-friendly workflow in ArcGIS Pro. This is really neat. So I worked in local gov for like 13 years, and one of the greatest assets we had was just creating models, right? Writing Python scripts, dump those scripts into like a model, the model builder, and run those models. And you've seen these model builder sequences get run and stuff. They're really cool, save a ton of time. Great tools. So this is really kind of, I'm thinking this is like stuff I've used to do quite a bit of. Not a pro in ArcMap. I haven't really used Pro too often. I'm from the ArcMap days, ArcView, ArcInfo. I'm old, sorry. But yeah, we got some web stuff here, which is pretty exciting. I won't be able to get to see these, unfortunately. Okay, then we got this one here, simplify your complex Survey123 forms with JavaScript. So this one could be kind of cool if you use Survey123 quite a bit. This is Mara. Mara, I think they spelled the name wrong. Mara, I think this is Mara Stoika. She used to work at Esri a few years ago. Actually attended a couple of out-of-state conferences with Mara and stuff like that. Really sharp dev. Yeah, this would be a really good one to attend. We got working with offline map data and mobile applications. This is always a pretty popular one. People always wonder how to take stuff offline. And if you're working with runtime and the mobile apps, stuff like that, this is the kind of thing that you can do. You can take your data offline, sync it and whatnot. So this looks like it might be pretty cool. Oh my God. Together with these two components, IBM Maximo mobile apps downloads and sync. Maximo. Man, that, I've had to work with Maximo stuff in the past, and I feel gutted. I'm sure this will be fine. I'm sure it'll be great. It's a great session, and I feel for people that are digging into the innards of Maximo stuff to pull data out and integrate with it and everything like that. For real. Okay, we got here take flight, the magic of spatial SQL functions. Huh. All right. What's this one going on here? Data processing and summary statistics calculations, and generally associated with backend programming using developer-friendly APIs, REST, Python, or R. But there's an alternative approach to spatial analysis. Do it all. Spatial SQL. Okay, so it's spatial SQL thing. This one's really cool. So if you have access to the SQL functions of your backend database to do certain things, this is really, really nice. I dig that a lot. More Maximo. Oh man, we've got like a Maximo block here. Brave souls, man. I shouldn't talk too much smack. I mean, my Maximo experience is not a default Maximo experience for everybody. I'm sure Maximo is great. I mean, it's a huge asset management database from IBM and stuff like that. You do things the Maximo way and you're cool the Maximo way, as far as I know. All right, these are pretty cool. See, so I'm done at 2 o'clock at moderating those sessions. Maybe I'll check out a couple of these Maximo sessions if I have time. I'm supposed to be in the showcase area at that time. So we'll see how that works out. Schools custodial inspections using field maps, survey 123, and insights. Wow, that's really kind of pulling out together. It's like a full like suite, like taking advantage of the ArcGIS platform, the ecosystem, and everything that you have when you depending on licenses and stuff you're buying, you have all this stuff available to you. So it's really kind of cool to see how these users are bringing all that together to do some really cool stuff. ArcGIS indoor models, select the floor of the building, custom URL transfers and pre-fills room data. This one's really cool here. I get asked sometimes about how you might be able to do stuff like this, and they're going to talk about it. That's really neat. Enterprise planning and deployment. Okay, so this one's a really popular one. I would love to get into this a bit more. I've tried playing with it, like on my work machine and stuff like that, to try and do some of the stuff. I'm still like not great at like deploying ArcGIS Enterprise at times. I know usually only place I trip up is on like the certs and stuff like that. I mean, that's pretty much the only tricky part, I think, in my mind, but I don't know. So it's really kind of cool to get. So this is one of those places where I would say, yes, you have access to the team and developers who are working on enterprise and deployment and stuff like that. And they can probably answer some very technical questions you might have. But other users that are out there doing this stuff on a regular basis, right? Working in municipalities or whatever organization, maybe similar to yours, has some similar restrictions, whether it be like a database restrictions or security restrictions. These are the kind of folks who want to talk to about deployment, stuff like that, that might run into particular issues that you might run into. So this is one of those cases where I would say user presentation would be a very valuable resource for you. It's also great networking too, right? Get to know people working in your industry, folks. I'm just saying. Okay, 445, I got some more. Building network visualization graph widget with ArcGIS and graph database. Oh, I wonder what graph database they're using here. Blah, 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 blah. Assuming deploying. Tiger graph. I don't think I've heard Tiger graph. Is that like Tiger data? Right? Maybe? Network information store. Okay. I'm not familiar with it, but this is kind of neat. I'm really... I've done some playing around with the Spatial 4J and stuff like that, like graph databases and stuff, and I mean they're very powerful. So I'd really love to see what these folks are doing with it. That's neat. Asset replacement planning with so asset management is like huge in the GIS space, right? I mean, well, yeah, because everything has a spatial location. All your assets stuff are spatially located somewhere, whether it's in a utility room or out in the field or something like that. So this is really kind of cool seeing all this stuff kind of brought together using React and Django. Okay, very cool. Did I say it right? Django. I always say Django, but I don't know. Yeah, but Django is great because it's like a Python framework and stuff, and you use it for your back end, and it can do all kinds of really cool bits. So this is kind of neat. Using ES6 modules, all right, ESM, right? I'm all for that. Rock on, folks. Okay, so that is Wednesday. What's going on Thursday here? All the way to the top. That should be like a to the top button somewhere around here, like on the side. Usually sites have it on the side. Just saying, if anybody works on the site is watching this video, just like, no, give me a little thing here, man. Okay, eye on the data for the eye of the storm. Weather. It's got to be some weather. Yeah, hurricane. Since 2016, Atlantic hurricane season has seen above average activity every year. So using ArcGIS API for JavaScript to display published feature layers on a custom web map, blah, blah, blah. Weather-related REST services. So using some other services in here. Sounds like they're not Esri or GIS-specific services and stuff. So that's pretty cool. I'm always interested in what users are doing with like third-party APIs and services to bring their data into applications and kind of apply that to their maps in some way, right? I mean, I think it's a very bread and butter kind of a thing that a developer would need to do on a regular basis, right? Yes, it'd be great if you get everything into GIS somehow. You could probably use Coop to do some things like that, but a lot of times you're just working directly with someone else's data or APIs to bring stuff in. So I'm always interested to see what people are doing with this and kind of like, their way of thinking to make that integration in their apps, right? Okay, spatial relationship between education indicators and scoring patterns of distance learning students. Oh, now this is very cool. I dig stuff like this. I really dig these kind of like, analysis of patterns and stuff like that. Kind of maps and presentations, and it's kind of thing that I probably would have read about in school, taking some inspiration from to work on a project or something. So we've got policy level decisions to improve the quality of education, require consolidated spatial data on a large scale, covering different education variables. Yeah, so that, oh man, that's pretty cool. Scoring patterns of distance learning students of Punjab, did I say that right? Punjab province have been mapped with ArcGIS. Oh man, so they got a lot of data here, which is really cool. Using the spatial statistics, you're never going to catch me doing a reading of a book or anything like that on air. The spatial statistics toolbox of ArcGIS contains tools for analyzing spatial distributions. Yeah. Oh, these are very, very cool. I mean, spatial stats is one of those things that, I've used in the past, but it's definitely not a strong suit for me. But anytime I get to learn a little bit about doing spatial stats from, someone, especially like users that have to do this kind of stuff on a regular basis, I'm all for it. Electricity outage management in the smart city. Okay, I just had like 2 power outages today. So I'm definitely all for anything to help manage that, and in a smart city. So I'm not sure exactly what it means by in the smart city. Well, okay, so let's say my power went out today and I got 2 emails, or 2 texts actually, one from the power company and one from my internet provider, both telling me things were out. So is that smart? I don't know, man. This isn't exactly my field here, but they're using utility networks, data model, and ArcGIS, successfully using event information reported from premises on telecommunications network equipment to determine real-time state of electricity network outages at the street and premise level. So this is the kind of thing I imagine that your field crews would need from their dispatchers and stuff like immediately, right? Like you're immediately getting this information before anybody has a chance to phone it in to tell you something's gone out. You can see right away things are out, and you can have field crews looking into it right away. So I think that's kind of what this is going for, right? Look, this is a spatial stats block happening over here. Spatial temporal conv-LSTM. I'm guessing that's some sort of a spatial stat algorithm. I don't know. With ArcPy for crash prediction. Deep learning. Okay, so we got some deep learning stuff going on here. Some machine learning happening, which is really cool. These are always really neat. Rohit shows these things a lot in like plenaries and stuff throughout the years, and I always find them super fascinating. I'm not smart enough to do stuff like that, but I wish I were. So this should be very, very cool. What do we have here? A new Atelerix, a new Atelerix, building a spatial processing reporting programming. Building a new language. Now you've piqued my interest. What are we doing here? The ArcGIS platform makes it easy to create, analyze, and share data. Okay. Amazing what you can do out of the box these days. When we initially built Atelerix, am I saying that right? I think I'm saying that right. Create live data from different sources, mixing data sources. Okay. Okay, so it looks like Atelerix is a processing language for spatial data. Okay, over the last few years, what it takes to build a programming language and how to create libraries that can work on both servers and WebAssembly. Very cool. I wonder if they're going to show some Rust or maybe just some C, C++, the WebAssembly stuff. I think that's very, very cool. I would imagine it's probably C, C++ if you're building a programming language and then parsing it out to WebAssembly. But it's just my guess. I really don't know. Okay, so geocoding 10 million addresses per month. Oh, wow. Damn. Okay, with the StreetMap Premium, SQL, and Python. I'm guessing that you were just creating batch geocoding and running this stuff and scripts is that crazy. That is nuts. 10 million geocoding addresses a month? What are you geocoding? Wow. Okay. One current project involves geocoding on a monthly basis. I guess so. Legacy process for geocoding addresses, with a DAT file. I don't know what this file type is, but with a third-party geocoding application, well, it took approximately 14 hours. I believe it. I wouldn't, yeah, I wouldn't doubt that number at all. So it explains how they use, so they improve their process to leverage the Esri Street Map, Premium Locators, Microsoft SQL Server, Python, SAS, and Pro. Wow. And they're using Python Flask app, a Python Flask based app to do it. So I really like Python Flask. I think it's very cool. It's like Express for Python, but it's like a little server library to create APIs and stuff like that. So this should be really fun. I would dig that. When does config become code? All right. YAML. Oh my God. YAML. Why are you trying to hurt me, man? All right. We've all built software to store settings in JSON, XML, INI, YAML. Okay. Oh, you're not trying to hurt me. You're trying to make my life better. Okay. All right. For us, configuration files get more and more complex as projects grow. Yes, they do. I'm sure you all know that. What's the difference between an interpreter that takes action based on JSON file and one based on a PI file? Okay. Oh, so they're going to go into like a DSL, domain-specific languages, can offer structured alternatives to settings files to create more. I dig this a lot. I've always wanted to do something with like Haskell or maybe even Go to create some sort of like a DSL to manage multiple projects and configurations and stuff like that. So 3:15, I wonder if I can get out of I don't know what I gotta look at my schedule. I have a few sessions, not a lot, but I've got a few sessions and showcase that I'm doing. So this Thursday 3:15, I gotta check see what I'm doing there. I would love to check this one out because I'm just interested in stuff like that. Geodatabase management, versioning. Oh, versioning, folks. I'm not sure many people work with versioning in geodatabase, but it's definitely one of those things that can weigh on you if you've got a lot of people editing your geodatabase and then you have to reconcile those. So this is kind of very cool. Has set up and managed geodatabase versions within Pro. I would definitely want to check this out if you have to deal with that at all. We got Model Builder and using Model Builder and ArcPy to create automation tasks in Pro. This is like one of the best things you can do for yourself if you are a GIS analyst or technician working on tasks on a daily basis. Learn how to take advantage of even just using Model Builder to run tasks in sequence and simplify your workflow for you, because it's just to save you so much time. And then using ArcPy to kind of tweak things a little bit, you're going to save yourself a ton of time. And maybe your 8-hour task will turn into a 10-minute task and chill for a little bit. I'm not saying tell everybody it takes 8 hours, but you know what I mean. Know what I'm saying. All right, so that was it. Those are all of the user presentations for Dev Summit next week on Wednesday and Thursday. I highly recommend you check them out. It looks like they're broken up into tracks, and I kind of wish they would have like labeled the tracks. Maybe like they're in the filters or something. Because like we saw that there's definitely, these are like, I don't know what these are specifically. Environmental track maybe. Then we have some like offline. Got like database based tracks here, asset management type stuff. And then Wednesday we definitely had stuff that was that was Wednesday. Then we've definitely got some like weather, environmental stuff over here, like management type stuff. If these aren't tracks, I kind of wish they were labeled with the track that they're part of. But it's okay. It's not a big deal. If you find something in here, user presentation that kind of tickles your fancy, is in the industry you're working in, I highly recommend you check them out. Exchange business cards with the presenter. It's good to network, get an idea of what people are doing in your industry, especially if they're doing anything similar to what you're doing, right? You can learn an awful lot from your peers. Don't, like I said, you'll have access to all of the engineers and staff at Dev Summit that work on the software itself, but not gonna lie, sometimes you get some pretty good tips and tricks from your peers as well. So take advantage of it. All right, folks, that's it. I will see you all at Dev Summit next week. I'll be around somewhere. I don't know. If you're interested, look for me at the showcase. Okay, I'll definitely be there plenty of the week, and I've got sessions too. Just come to the sessions. Like I said, I can't speak for all staff and everybody, but just when I'm doing my sessions and stuff like that, don't know. And let's keep some distance, folks, right? Let's not crowd for questions after. And most of the time, we won't be able to take questions after sessions anyway because someone else is coming in to start their session next. And you'll have to catch us at the showcase area for any follow-up questions you have after a session. That's my recommendation. So I'm just saying, be cool. Let's have a good time. That's first in person in a couple of years. So, let's make it count. Thanks a lot. If you got any questions, go ahead and leave them below. Don't forget to